Rose is undoubtedly the queen of flowers. If you have a passion for gardening and love flowers, then I'm sure you have always wanted to grow roses in your garden. Some newbie gardeners, including me a few years ago, used to think rose is one of the most difficult shrubs to grow. This is actually a misconception. Anybody can grow roses just like any other plant. All you have to do is follow some simple tips and tricks on how to grow roses correctly. In this episode, let's list out the 10 useful rose plant care tips one by one. Please watch it till the end, as some of these tips might surprise you with few bonus tips at the end. Before we start, please make sure you subscribe to our channel along with the bell notification. On number 10. Bare root roses or container roses. You can purchase roses already potted in soil, that is container roses, or as dormant bare root plants. If you are a beginner, container roses is the best option because they're easy to plant and also they establish quickly. If you are planting bare root roses which are commonly sold online, they need to have their roots soaked overnight in water before planting them into soil, and also the roots must be kept always moist for the first few weeks after planting. On number 9. Repotting a newly bought rose plant. The commonest mistake most of us do is immediately repot a newly purchased plant. Never do this. Keep this newly bought container in partial shade or indirect sunlight for at least 3 to 4 days for it to settle down, and then shift to full sunlight, or even consider repotting in a new container and a new potting mix of your choice. Do not remove the entire mother soil from the plant while repotting, especially beginners. Just tease the roots around and then place it in the new potting mix. Then, after repotting, water it thoroughly and keep it in shade for first few days to prevent the repotting or the transplant shock which causes the plant to wilt. Then on number 8, drainage and pot selection. No doubt you need a well-draining soil for all plants. This applies even to rose plant. Make sure you have good drainage holes at the bottom that do not get clogged easily. As you keep the containers in full sunlight, plastic containers are not recommended. Clay pots are the best, and next comes the cement containers. We have discussed in detail on choosing the right containers in another episode. You can find links to all related videos from the description below. On number 7. Potting mix. Rose is a special plant and we expect a lot of flowers from it. So, the nutrient requirement for this plant is high. As you all know, any plant requires phosphorus and potassium for healthy flowering and fruiting. Keep this in mind while you make your potting mix. Steamed bone meal is the most important source of phosphorus and a slow-release fertilizer. 1 handful of bone meal is sufficient to produce flowering for the entire year. You should also make a proper potting mix with all ingredients like the decomposed cow dung, vermicompost, coco peat or peat moss, and garden soil in proper proportion to make a well-draining soil. You can watch my detailed video on the best universal potting mix recipe from a link here at top right corner or from the description below, but after this video. On number 6. Sunlight and location. Rose plant needs at least 6 to 8 hours of full direct sunlight to produce flowers and keep it healthy. You cannot expect flowering without sunlight. One more important point to remember here is location. If possible, protect it from hot noon sunlight, that is from 12 pm to 2 pm sun. Or if this is not possible, you can install a 50% green shade net to protect it from noon sun, especially in hot summer. On number 5. Watering requirement. Roses need daily watering, and well-draining soil is very important, and at the same time, moisture around the roots has to be maintained by adding stuff like compost and coco peat. You can add a little extra compost like the decomposed cow dung or mix some extra leaf compost in your potting mix. One important watering tip for roses to avoid fungus is watering early in the morning before the sun starts. Watering in the evening can keep it damp and encourage fungus growth. On number 4. Fertilizer. Rose plants require regular feeding to increase flowering, both number of flowers and also to achieve big sized roses. If you use chemical fertilizers, NPK 20-20-20 and DAP crystals, that is diammonium phosphate, alternating every week is sufficient to produce good flowering. But if you are completely organic like me, consider adding a handful of vermicompost or decomposed cow dung in each container every 15 days after raking or tilling the topsoil. Raking or tilling of the soil is itself an important task to improve the soil aeration and improve your plant's health. Then you can also perform a foliar spray by mixing 1 teaspoon of Epsom salt in 1 liter of water once every 15 days for best results. On number 3, pest control. This is most important step. The only regular pesticide I recommend is neem oil weekly once spray. This prevents and cures a lot of diseases and pests on rose plants. 5 to 10 ml of neem oil mixed in 1 liter of water with few drops of liquid soap or shampoo is sufficient. There are 2 most common disease attacks on roses. One is the rose dieback disease and the black spot rose disease, both of which are caused by fungus. We have detailed episodes on these episodes. You can check those links from in the description below. On number 2, deadheading. This is another important task most of us are lazy to perform. Just pluck those dead and fading flowers from the plant. This will conserve the plant's energy to produce more new buds rather than diverting the energy in seed formation. Performing deadheading as soon as the flower starts to fade is beneficial instead of waiting the flower to completely dry. On number 1, pruning or trimming rose plants. This is an important task most of us neglect. Do not hesitate or be afraid to prune your rose plant. You're not going to kill it. Pruning is an important gardening secret to healthy rose bush because this encourages branching and makes your plant more bushy, as a result of which more number of flowers. Perform at least a basic pruning, what is called a soft pruning, in early spring season once in a year. Have a detailed episode on pruning concepts and types of pruning. This will give you an insight on when, why and how to prune any plant. Please watch that episode from an end screen link after this video. Now, 2 bonus tips. Firstly, about soil pH. Rose loves slightly acidic soil. If you have a pH testing meter, you can check it by dipping it into your soil. Rose loves a pH of 6.0 to 6.5. To acidify your soil, you can water it by mixing 10 grams of alum in 1 liter of water once every 15 days or once in a month. This will certainly improve your plant's overall health and also increase flowering because acidic soil is important for nutrient absorption. Secondly, you can add mustard cake tea or even use tea dust as discussed in my previous episode. You can check all the related videos in the description below. So there you have it, folks. Please hit a thumbs up if you like the video. Please share this with your gardening friends and comment below if you have more suggestions and queries. Consider subscribing if you're new to this channel. Happy gardening!